Hi, we're Ocean Dreams Instruments. We're from Seattle. Today we have a mixer and a sequencer to show. So for the mixer, you can see there are 6 channels. There are 4 channels with a built-in 4-quadrant VCA. And then you have 2 mix buses. The main mix bus from the faders, you can segment apart just by patching. And then the auxiliary mix bus on the knobs here, you actually switch to select. So you can choose for every channel whether the aux bus is listening to the previous main bus, isolated, or listening to the previous aux bus. I'm upside down, so it's hard for me to flip switches right now. And the reason I kind of did this combo of things is because I feel like in Eurorack you can find a lot of utility modules that happen to mix and a lot of mixer modules that just mix. And it's difficult, especially for small racks, to find something that's a great mixer that will also be versatile and do other things for you. So I really wanted to create this combination so that you could flexibly route. For example, for one patch you want 4 independent VCA utilities and just 2 channels of mixing, or 2 channels of VCA utilities and 4 channels of mixing, whatever combo you want to do. It's very flexible for you like that. On top of all that, there is a clickless mute per channel with a latching and a momentary, as well as a polarity select switch. So if you don't want the full 4 quadrants of VCA multiplication and the full attenuversion on the slider, you can knock it down to just be pure attenuation and work a lot more like a mixer. You can chain these things together if you have a larger rack, and there's also a stereo focus version coming. This is mostly a mono mixer. The one stereo thing we do is that for the last 2 channels, instead of having a VCA CV input, we have a direct aux input. So you can put, for example, left on your main bus, right on your aux bus, and then you have a left level and a right level. Of course, you prefer to have a level and a pan, but that's why there's a stereo version coming. Lastly, for the mixer, there's also a 6 HP expander you'll be able to get that will overlay a switcher/sequencer on top of the mixer. So the mixer still works exactly as it does, but any number of channels you want to also co-opt as a switcher or sequencer. Depending on what the mode is on the expander, you can have multiple slices on or just one slice on that kind of rotates through at a time. So you can overlay a sequencer or switcher, and you still get access to like the VCA and the input as part of that sequencing and switching. So that's the whole mixer. I think you could do a lot in a small amount of space there.
Yes.
So we can move on to the sequencer. This is an 8 HP sequencer. It's called the 2-step. We have 2 CV inputs, 3 if you don't use the reset, and we have 4 CV outputs, so 4 channels. We also have an 18 HP version coming that has 8 inputs and 8 outputs. The idea here is that if you just wanted to get step sequencing, you could get right to it. Wouldn't take much to get you in there. But the twist is that Trigs are envelopes, and so can you. So this thing is really just set up by default to generate Trigs. In reality, you have parameters like the slew curve, set and release values, the delay and gate timing, as well as a whole bunch of ratcheting controls. So you can actually generate all of your CV expression, envelopes, and other shapes directly from your sequencer. To add on to that, we have electron-style per-step parameter mapping, parameter locking, as well as per-step CV mapping. So you can have a different shape for every step, a different response to your CV inputs for every step. You have a built-in sample and hold modulation source, so if you have a small rack, you don't have to go out and get a separate one of those. You also have a built-in input monitor. Sorry, all the way over here. You have a built-in input monitor so you can see what's going on with your rack. And you don't have to just linearly step through the sequences as well. We have parameters like stride and jump that let you manipulate how the sequencer is actually navigating your sequence. So if you put everything I just told you together, you could, for example, take a CV input, map it directly to the jump parameter of a channel, and now you're basically using that CV value to select what step you're about to go to. And if you put a different shape on every single step, now you've basically created like an envelope or expression wavetable. And so you can get pretty far beyond sequencing with this little guy. The last little things to mention, I try to make it very performance friendly. So you can hold any parameter and turn the knob just to adjust the value. You can, nothing is too menu divey. Everything is just 1 or 2 clicks away. You have seamless save and load. And when you load, it'll queue to the end of the sequence, or you can rush it immediately. And everything is open source software and hardware, and it should all be available early-ish next year. Last thing is you can find us at oceandreaming.com.
To find out more about modules from Ocean Dreams, please visit their website and check out the description below this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to CatSynth TV.
And you are watching CatSynth TV.